So in this video, I'll be taking you through the latest developments concerning the retrial of the nurse Lucy Letby. Lucy Letby is currently standing trial on one count of attempted murder. The information provided in this video is from the live reporting taken directly from inside the courtroom. The prosecution will begin presenting its evidence this morning, led by Simon Driver. He starts by reading a statement from the mother of child K. The mother said she discovered she was pregnant in August 2015, and she said she and her husband were both thrilled with the news. The pregnancy progressed normally, and the pair were told there were no issues when they attended their 12-week scan. A minor issue was identified at 15 weeks gestation, but the couple were reassured everything was fine and all tests came back negative, the jurors are told. The mother described how she was returning to the Countess of Chester Hospital every 2 or 3 weeks to see a consultant. Everything was developing fine, she said. The mother recalled waking up in pain during the morning of February 15, 2016, when the unborn infant was at 25 weeks gestation. She said her partner suggested they call a midwife who advised she attend the labour ward. When the couple arrived, the mother said she was taken into a side room where a number of checks were done and she was told she was dilated by 2 centimetres. The mother said she knew something was happening and that she had gone into labour. She was admitted onto the ward where she was closely monitored. The mother described the treatment she received and how arrangements were being made by staff to transfer her to Arrow Park Hospital, which the jurors heard has a specialist maternity unit which deals with very premature babies. That evening, the mother said she discussed with a medic at the Countess of Chester Hospital about having a C-section. There was no indication from the medical team that they had any concerns regarding child K. She wasn't showing any signs of distress, she said. Her heart rate was good and a decision was made to keep the baby at the Countess of Chester. The mother said that during the evening of February 16th, she woke up in pain at the hospital. Her partner pressed a red panic alarm and the room was soon full of staff. The midwife got her ready for delivery and child K was born just after 2 a.m. on February 17th. Staff, she said, worked on child K for 30 to 45 minutes. They placed a tube to aid the baby's breathing and placed a hat on the baby to keep her warm. As far as we were aware, there was nothing to be concerned about, she said, describing her baby's weight at 692 grams or 1 pound 8 ounces. The mother said there seemed to be so many people around as medics sought to care for her. She said the next thing I remember was a nurse appearing at her bedside. The nurse had blonde hair tied in a ponytail, was a little round, aged in her 30s, and was wearing a blue uniform. She came into the room and told us child K was fine. She was stable and doing really well, she said. The nurse asked if we would like to see her, and we both said yes. The woman described how the nurse helped her into a wheelchair and pushed her to the neonatal unit. The nurse offered to take pictures of the infant on the father's phone. She took several pictures, the mother said, who said after a few minutes she went back to the labour ward as she felt sleepy. The mother said the timestamp on the pictures showed they were taken at 4:30 a.m. on February 17th, when the baby was just a few hours old. While she was sleeping, the mother said she was woken by someone who came into her room to say a bed was now available at Arrow Park. The member of staff explained how child K had to be moved into a transport incubator to get her to Arrow Park. The woman said at this stage the couple had decided on a name for their baby. She said she was wheeled down to the neonatal unit to see child K before being moved to Arrow Park. While her partner followed the ambulance, the mother said she had yet to be discharged from the Countess of Chester and so she remained at the hospital. She described how staff were desperately getting organised so she could be discharged to make her way to Arrow Park. She was finally discharged at 2 p.m. The mother described how the couple was staying in Ronald McDonald House, specialist accommodation for parents at the hospital. I was lying awake when I had the strangest feeling I cannot begin to describe, the mother said. The mother said she asked her partner if he was awake, and he was, and she asked if they should go and see child K. They decided to visit the neonatal unit, which was said to be free for parents to visit at any time. When they saw their baby, the woman said she noticed the saturation readings were low. I knew straight away things weren't great, she said. She went on to say that the doctor confirmed the worst. The doctor said child K had been fighting all night and that the medics had been struggling to improve her readings. I asked the doctor, is it just a waiting game now, and is she going to get better? We had a long conversation with the doctor who explained child K was not getting better and what happens next is entirely our decision. She described how her baby had been passed from pillar to post from the moment she was born. Her tiny swollen body had suffered so much. We didn't want her to suffer any more. The couple made a choice together to switch off child K's life support machine, to let her go, she said. This was by far the hardest decision of my life, she said. The mother said staff showed them to a family room away from the ward, which was peaceful and quiet. Their baby was given to them wrapped in a blanket attached to a handheld pump to aid her breathing. She was placed into our arms, she said. The doctor said we can do this whenever you're ready. The doctor removed the pump and left the room. The mother described how child K was in her father's arms as she passed away. Her death was confirmed at 5:28 a.m. The first live witness of the day is Dr. John Gibbs, a retired consultant paediatrician at the Countess of Chester Hospital. He describes to the jurors how a ventilator works. They go through 2 videos of a ventilator being operated and how its alarms work. Dr. Gibbs confirms that a nurse would fill in a chart when a baby is on a ventilator. He explains it would record oxygen saturation levels. The doctor says it's a serious sign when oxygen levels in the blood drop. Dr. Gibbs is being asked about baby collapses in general. Tiny alarms attached to babies record chest movements and will go off following no activity of 20 seconds, he said. He describes what doctors can do to assist infants when oxygen levels fall below 90%, referred to as an apnea. One method is to simply tap the infant to encourage breathing, and another is to place a bag over the mouth to force oxygen into the baby. Cheshire Police analyst Kate Tyndall is now giving evidence. She is being taken through a sequence of events chart concerning child K. The officer confirms the defendant conducted a series of Facebook searches of other infants who collapsed and their parents, following analysis of Letby's phone. Analysis shown to the court also shows that Lucy Letby searched for the parents of child K on Facebook on April 20th, 2018, more than 2 years after child K's death, and just a few months before Lucy Letby herself would be arrested. Miss Tyndall outlines a series of messages between the defendant and colleagues. The officer confirms she has also included the names of all staff who were on duty at the relevant times in the chart. The officer is now being taken through the timeline, with Letby said to have recorded notes for another child at 2 a.m. The jurors hear the medical notes confirm child K was born at 25 weeks gestation when she weighed 692 grams. Her condition was dusky and floppy, and her heart rate was recorded as 60 beats per minute. It had been a spontaneous labour. At 2:45 a.m, observations were recorded in the medical notes for child K. At 2:50 a.m, the defendant made a nursing note for another baby the court hears. By 3 a.m, a prescription was made for child K, and 3 minutes later a blood gas record was entered for her. Okay, so that brings today's proceedings to a close. The prosecution evidence will continue on Monday at 12:30 p.m. There's no court tomorrow, no court on Friday. The trial is due to resume on Monday at 12:30 p.m. I'll be bringing you an update, a new episode at 7 o'clock on Monday, so do look out for that. As always, many thanks for joining me for this particular video. I look forward to seeing you all again for the next one. Take care. Cheers.